Hi everybody, sanibonani, welcome to my channel. Igama lami Ntando Mdletshe, and on this channel sibuka ama reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese siza la sokhuluma ngawo lama shows. Siyaphinda ke futhi sikhuluma ngama celebrities kanye nama YouTubers ethu ala eMzansi. If it's your first time joining me today and you happen to like my content, do not forget to press the subscribe button la ngezansi kanye ne notification bell ukuze phela uthole umyalezo mangabe umsebenzi omusha sesi ufakile. Today you guys, we are going to do a full review of This Body Works for Me season 1 episode 7. You guys, like I said and I have been saying, this show is very watchable. Okay, you are missing out if you are not watching this show. If you like really like nice reality shows with a bit of, like I say guys, reality shows are more shows than they are reality, but now and then you like it's good to have, like, you know, a good like real story. Okay, so we know it's a show, but for them to add a little bit of reality, so this show has, you know, that flavor of like real stories somewhere, you know, and I like that, you guys. I like that. Anyway, you guys, so Wandile Ndlovu, on the first scene, she's with her grandmother. You know, she's the one that has two teenage sisters, and her mom. On the article that I did, you guys, about her story, she says that nobody works in her at home, and they live in a township. It's a good house. It's a good nice house, nice and clean house, and nothing fancy, you guys. Like in Jesus Zasemakai, you know, and nothing fancy, but it's a good clean house. Nothing wrong with the house. And they show it a lot. I like Ugutu Uwandile doesn't have, is not hiding who she is in that way. Like a lot of the scenes that she shoots with her family, they're in their dining room ekaya, you know, and I like that. I like seeing that she's just real like that in that way, because there are other parts where others are not thinking that she's not being real. Okay, but we'll talk about it. But I like Uguti, she's showing that house in Jayagubo. She's not ashamed of it. She's showing conversations with her grandma, you know. I like that reality part of it. I really like it. So they're sitting and having a conversation. Remember one of her sisters, Untomfuti, is it Untomfuti? Yes, Untomfuti. They did reveal 2 episodes ago that she is pregnant. Okay, she was the one actually that made a confession that she is pregnant. So Untomfuti now Wandile is saying after they found out she was pregnant, it's like it was almost like they're giving her freedom now, because she doesn't sleep at home. It's almost like she's saying, I'm about to become a mom. They already know I'm pregnant. So if they know I'm pregnant, they know I have a boyfriend. So agalale kaya and all of that, she goes missing and all of that. So she's worried about it, and she's talking to her grandmother about it. But before they have that conversation about Ntomfusi, I think Ukoko was complaining about the fact that amaphilisi are finished. I guess amaphilisi BP or amaphilisi amathambo. We all know the story. You know, if you've got umuntu omdala ekhaya, and Ntomfusi Wandile is supposed to wake up ngo 4 ekseni, ahambe ngo 5 to go and queue at the clinic for her grandmother, and then her grandmother will come at 7 so that angezoba semumva with the queue. So Wandile is supposed to do that. So she says she needs to find her own place because she can't deal with these things at home. I think that it's just very lucky that she gets to do that for her grandmother. You know, this is not even her mom, it's her grandmother. You know, so who's gonna do that if she moves out of home? You know, so I thought that was a cute conversation. Coco is not begging at all. Like uzovuka ekseni, and Wandile is like, ha Coco, uzongivusa is like, izinto that we did not teach you to do niyakwazi ukuzenza singashongo ukuthi zenzeni. Angazi what she was referring to, Gogo, but the things that we taught you to do, you need to be reminded. It's like you need to be reminded to do the right thing, but the wrong thing you do them without getting reminded. Cha uzovuka ngo4 uyongiqueuela for amaphilisi ami. Anyway, then they have that conversation about Ntomfuti, and I don't know, you guys, they didn't make the conversation flow kahle for me, because I do believe ukuthi the next thing that they talk about, which was Wandile is suggesting that they must go for a CT scan with Ntando. They must take Ntando for a CT scan. I believe that whole thing was initiated by the producers. I even believe that they probably paid for that scan that Ntando ended up doing. We're going to talk about it. So because it was something that was set up, they're going to talk about, the conversation didn't flow. Like, you are talking about Ntando, the fact that she's being rebellious, because that's what they say, she doesn't listen to them, she answers back, and now since she's pregnant, she's not sleeping at home and all of that, but we must take her for a CT scan and I'm going to pay for it. I being one deal, it just didn't make sense. It's like, oh, okay, she's doing all of these things wrong, let's reward her by taking her for a CT scan. It didn't flow for me at all. Okay, so while they're having that conversation, Ntando walks in, and one day in the diary session does say, job ngena nje na kade ngalele ekhaya ungena nje uphuma ku boyfriend, and they sit her down because Wandile says Gogo wants to talk to her, but really it was her who wanted to talk to her. And obviously expresses we feel like ever since we found out you are pregnant, it was like you are doing whatever it is that you want, and you're not respecting anybody in this house, you're not being considerate of anybody in this house, and we don't feel like it should be like that. And Ugogo is saying, and she's even worried because she doesn't even know who made her pregnant. It might be somebody that is married. One day the dad says, no, Coco, but I do know her boyfriend. And she says also in the diary session that she does know the boyfriend is somebody that is the same age as her, Ntando, which is even scary because it's like they're just kids, they're just kids. But I guess it's okay because angazi, which one is okay? For the baby daddy to be older, because if he's a little bit older, maybe he has a job, but if he's just as young as her, then chances are he was just at school and they are just kids doing things that they know nothing about, making babies, and I Gogo starts, like I think this is typical. I think we must just accept to go to, even now when I get older, I'm gonna be that dramatic, because umuntu omdala nje, an older person, they are so dramatic. They like this thing of saying, mina nje ngizofa njena, mina nizongibulala njena, i-stress njena, i-high izovele inyuke, ngizofa njena, mina ngizofa ngibulawa ilezi zinto zeni nizenzayo, niyangistressa. Gogo goes through that, which all our parents have done. I don't know if it's the desperation in our parents that would make them do that. And I guess as I'm getting older, maybe I'm going to do that to my kids. So I'm going to be like, listen, you remember even last week, Samke and I said that it was okay. No, useless like Nina and all. Parents should do that. I don't know why. They're so dramatic. Ugogo is dramatic and but I understand because she's worried about these kids, but she doesn't feel like they are listening to her when she's trying to correct them. Okay. And so they end up deciding what's immediate ngaleso sikhathi they're going to go bayokwenza iscan, and they're going to go with Ugogo no Wandile, which mean I thought they were saying it's something that they're going to do later on, not exactly at that time. Okay, so they end up going. It was clear that on their way there they were traveling with the transport for the crew. It looked like actually 99 crew there. with those white cars, they were traveling like that. That's why I was so convinced to go to this was something that really was arranged by the producers. But I think it would be a nice thing if they did. Obviously, it adds into the storyline. But also it's a nice thing for Ntando because she ended up getting the scan and seeing her baby. So they got there. One day I said the receptionist gave them attitude, but we did not see it. We just saw them when they were at the doctor's. Ntando seemed to be excited, honestly, to hear the heartbeat of the baby. Guys, no matter how the baby is conceived, there's something about hearing that heartbeat and actually realizing like there is a baby, there's a human being coming. So I think she was excited. I think Nabo, they were excited a little bit to see that. Okay. And yeah, anyway, for some reason Wandile wanted to clarify that the doctor that they're going to see is private, so they did not need to they did not need to book an appointment or whatever, wait for an appointment. And yeah, guys, but they did the CT scan, got the printouts as well. She was excited about that. It was a good thing for her. And they said that the reason they wanted to do the scan as well was to find out how far she is, but I didn't get it anyway in the episodes that the doctor did tell them. If she did tell them, maybe I missed it, or maybe they just didn't want us to know. I don't know, you guys, but I didn't get that information. But that was one of the reasons they wanted to go for a scan, because they did not know how far she is. She does not know, even her, how far she is. Okay, so the next scene, you guys, is Samke and Primadonna. This was one of the best scenes I have seen on the show, you guys. It really was. It was a good scene. I had to just rewind and watch it again, because I thought this is a good scene. Like when I say it's a show with a reality flavor, this was like one of those reality flavors that they've put on the show. Remember in the last episode, Samke had this big blowout with her mom. She was very emotional about it, when she was already very emotional about the fact that she's trying to make this big decision concerning her kids, because she has to make a decision on giving the sole or full custody of her kids to the father. I don't know if it's one father or two fathers, because she has two kids. So it's a difficult decision, but then they're not agreeing with her mom. So it's a very emotional thing, and they have a very toxic relationship with her mom. So she calls Primadonna to ask to come and chill with her, because she's very stressed. And Primadonna says yes. And she's got a cute place, she's got a really cute place. Ulonu Primadonna. She's one of the few that have apartments, I think. Is that an apartment or flats? But a place. She has a place. It's her. It's Uxoli. Wandi lives at home. And Ujina usancikiswe umngani wakhe, the one Uneli, the one they got fired with, so she doesn't have a place of her own yet. And yeah, you guys, but it's cute. Okay. And okay, so she arrives. Obviously, Samke arrives. She's very emotional. I like that shirt dress that she was wearing. She was looking really cute, and Primadonna was looking cute as well. Okay, listen, you guys, I don't know how I am supposed to deal with the accent of Primadonna, because I'm starting to like her, because I'm starting to like her story, and I like abantu genuine, but I feel like accent yakhe ngenza nje ngingafiki lapho ukuthi nje I can fully relate to her. But honestly, hearing her story, I was like, okay, maybe there is even something to the accent, to her creating this accent that you don't understand how she got it, Only if you hear her talk, guys, you would understand what I'm talking about. The accent, yabo love and hip hop, So you will feel like, if you listen to her talk, you will feel like, I'm not going to get anything genuine from this girl. But I think in this scene, she does give us something genuine, even with the accent, okay? But there were moments where she lost the accent a little bit, and I was like, yeah, we are getting there. I just wanted to speak normal, but maybe that's a normal. But how can that be your normal, eh? So they start, Samke start telling Primadonna about the issue of the kids. Number one, Primadonna didn't know Samke has kids. So she's like, I was surprised that she's a mom, that she has kids. So she's telling her, because of the work that she's doing, she just feels like it's the best decision to actually allow the kids to live with their dad/dads full time, take them have the sole custody or full custody, okay, of the kids. Now, Primadonna, her initial reaction in the diary session, she says, for me, if you're a mother, I think that you have to be raising your kids. And I just feel like kids will have to understand when they grow up that, you know, you were just hustling, you were trying to make a living, you know, but it doesn't mean that you need to give them away just because of this. But this was the initial reaction before the whole story. She says it's a very difficult decision to make, and she feels like if she keeps her kids, they might end up doing the same job that she does. And I understand why Samke feels like that, because her mom is said to be doing the same thing that she does. So, and she ended up doing the same thing that her mom does. So then, you know, obviously in her mind, it's like, if my kids, if I grew up around my mother doing what she was doing and I ended up doing what she's doing, then my kids are going to be the same. I don't know, you guys, whether her kids are boys or girls. I don't know that. But she said she feels like they will be safer. They will be safer with their dads, okay? And she also talks about the fact that because she was trying to express that to her mom and her mom didn't agree, and also they do have that toxic relationship. It ended up in a blow up. And then she starts to explain the relationship between her and her mom, even the fact that her mom has accused her of sleeping with her mom's boyfriend, her stepfather, and that is something that has really broken her heart, because she doesn't understand how her mom has has believed such a story. So Guti, she has slept with her stepdad, okay? So then she starts explaining to Primadonna these fights that they have had with Chris Excel, which on Twitter, which Primadonna had no idea about. Apparently she's not on Twitter. I was surprised because I thought everybody's on Twitter except me. And then she said she's not on Twitter, so she doesn't even understand the Chris Excel fight with Samke. Samke had a boyfriend, okay? They were in love with each other. They lived together. So she says, obviously, when you are with somebody, you have moments where you tell them you are vulnerable. You tell them everything about yourself, all the stories, all your childhood stories, all your issues with your mom, your fights with your mom, everything, things about your kids and all of that, everything. And I think they were even making the OnlyFans together with the boyfriend. The boyfriend hit her at some point. She said he slapped her, and she decided the relationship is over. They break up. She starts having that conflict with Chris Excel on Twitter. Chris Excel goes to the ex-boyfriend and says, "Do you have any debt on Samke?" The boyfriend tells Chris Excel everything. Chris Excel exposes everything. It really, like, when she's talking about it, it really sounds like it was really a traumatic time for her. It really shows good. It doesn't online sometimes can affect somebody, because she has told that story many times. Even on the show, we're in episode 7, and she's told it so many times. It sounds like something that really affects her, okay? And then she talks a little bit about her mom. I think with her mom or Samke, I think she's struggling with the fact that her mom acts like she is a perfect mom. You know, sometimes, like, Mom, do you not remember that you were not so perfect? Do you not remember that you made mistakes too? You know, sometimes my parents, I think sometimes it's hard for parents to deal with what they haven't done right, and so they will just pretend sometimes that they don't remember their own mistakes. And I think that's what Samke's mom is doing, and I think she struggles with that. Honestly, you guys, the story of Samke makes me so sad. Like, it makes me so sad, because it really sounds like she just would rather not. It's not something that she would have chosen for herself, but yet she did choose it. So it's like, it's very confusing for me to, even for the fact that she's not making a mistake, to leave it, because it doesn't sound like it's making her happy, but she's doing it. It's almost like she feels like she doesn't have a choice. She has to do it now that she started. But I feel like she does have a choice, but she doesn't see it that way. because it's just so sad. It makes me sad every time she tells her story, you guys. And then Primadonna ends up telling her story, because she says to Samke, you know what, I'm surprised what you're going through that with your mom. Usually it's a dad that acts like that. And for an example, I have a dad that is also psycho, and my dad is really crazy. I love him, but he's really crazy. Apparently Primadonna's dad was a security guard, and who was not very kind to them and their mom, and very abusive to everybody. And she tells a story of how this one morning he comes back from a night shift, started fussing with her mom, and obviously she involved herself in that conflict, because you know she's trying to protect her mom, and then her dad started beating her, which was not the first time, because she does say at the beginning of the conversation that ubabake umuntu who was raised in hardship, and as a result she just believes in raising children you beat them up, you know, so they grew up like that. So she talks about how one day she was kicked out of the house. She went and stayed with this guy for a few days. Her dad came and fetched her, and then when this incident happened where this he was kicking her and hitting her and all of that, she was kicked out, went and asked for a place to stay from this guy. This guy was like, yeah, I've helped you before, but this time I have to get something in return. I can help you, but I have to get something in return. And then that is how she lost her virginity, because she felt like, I don't have a choice, I have to give something, and what she gave was her virginity. And she said she lived like that until one day she just decided, you know what, screw it, you know, now and then I'm being kicked out of the house. So when her father said, you know, was kicking her out, she packed all of her clothes and everything, and she left, and she never returned home, you guys. I do not know if she is still visiting her family, or ever since she left. But in the first episode where we saw Primadonna for the first time, she does call her mom, or her mom calls her. So they do speak on the phone in that episode. So it looks like they are in communication with her mom. I just don't know if she still does go home. So she says for a while she lived with a boyfriend. After the guy, it's like she met now her first love. They lived together, but that didn't really work out as well. But during that time, she also discovered stripping. And she says while she was going through all of that, she was very determined to do well in school still. So she was still going to school. But once she discovered stripping, it really didn't work out. You know, she had to choose stripping or school, and she chose stripping. Okay. And yeah, so that's how she's been living ever since she left home, you know. It's sad, you guys, that fathers can be that abusive to their kids. It really is, you guys. So the next thing, it was a nice conversation. They decided they're going to go out together, just to chill, you guys. So it was a really nice talk. I liked it. And I liked it. But Primadonna seems to have really good advice, which I think as well that she needs to take for herself, because she's advising Samke, you know what, until you heal those wounds from childhood, you really are not going to be able to move forward that much, you know. So you need to see somebody. If it's counseling that you need, then you need to do that. And Samke is like, but you also need it, because it looks like you also have had a traumatic childhood. Samke really, like in the diary session, guys, number one, she was really surprised by Primadonna's story. And she said she just thought Primadonna comes from a really good family. Sometimes you look at people and you judge them like that. But, and also another thing in the diary session is that she sounds like she was begging the crew. She was like, listen, we need help, but we just don't know what to do. Help us. You know, that broke my heart. It really broke my heart, because I feel like it's like she's seeking something you know, I don't know if really, if she got the help, if she went to counseling or something, she would stay in the adults entertainment, or there is a way where she can work on things to a point where she doesn't see the need to be in that space, because it's heavy for her to be there. Anyway, you guys, I don't know if they're gonna get them some help. It would be great scenes for us to see if they do counseling, you know, and they work on some childhood traumas and all of that stuff, and see if afterward it makes any difference in the decision that they make on this work that they do. If anything, just for them to get help and to understand and heal, you know. Anyway, yes, you guys, I like the friendship that is developing between Samke and Primadonna, independent of everybody else. I liked it. I really, really did. Anyway, you guys, the next scene, it was they were showing us their work. It was Uxoli, this girl that I don't know, who is not part of the show, Boy Tumelo, was coming to shoot this video with Wandile and Uxoli and Ukesi, this guy, but he's a videographer. He's always working with them when they do videos. They were there to work, you guys, okay? They were there to work. Somewhere. This show for Nego kids, we are going to okay. I watched this show for this. But so they booked a place in Midrand because they're going to shoot and all of that. And then one delay arrives while Uboitumelo, Oli, and Case were already there. And Ukoli decides to go to, they're going to, she wants to have a conversation with Wandile before they start shooting. And so she wanted to find out how Wandile was doing after the fight. Remember Peluti Ubeu John Cena La Payana at the yoga place. And then she's advising her, but sometimes, like, when people have issues between each other, like the two people, let them settle the thing. Don't involve yourself. There was no need to involve yourself in that situation. It turns out Wandile was very scared that day. She said she was even shaking afterwards because she has never fought before. I really feel like Wandile is falling into the trap of the producers. I think she was told to go to, look, you are going to be this girl that is a no-nonsense girl, you know, and you know, you're going to be confronting people and all of that. No one is going to mess with you. There is something that she's trying to achieve on the show that she feels she needs to. She's presenting herself in a way that she feels she needs to present herself that way when she doesn't need to. And it's like Uxoli is all constantly trying to call her into order. No, but that's not who you are. You know, you don't fight like that. I've been friends with you for a long time. I've never seen you fight like that. She even says at some point that, listen, I'm not about peace. I don't like having peace wherever I go. And then Uxoli in the direct session is like, she's lying. That's not who she is, you know. So I do feel like there is something that she's trying to do in terms of the show. Maybe they told her that you're going to be a villain in the show, or you're going to be the crazy one in the show, and she's trying to do that, but that's not really who she is, Wandile. And I really feel like I wish that she could just be herself and not be acting like that, you know. Anyway, so she was just advising her, like, just chill. When people are having an issue, don't involve yourself too much in that issue. If it's not yours, then, you know, don't do it, okay? And it's like she gets it, but not really, because she says at the end, I don't like peace, which, and then Xoli is like, how can you say you don't like peace? That's not a good thing. Yeah. But anyway, after that, yeah, they get to shooting. Okay, it's 3 girls, it's Xoli, it's Boitumelo, and it's Wandile. They get to shoot the video. Okay, they show a little bit, but not much. Of course, they have to be like, okay, not too much, otherwise we show. Okay, Pornhub is there for that. Okay, yes, you guys. So, but that was it. Was it for today? Yeah, that was it for today. But yeah, like when they were shooting, you guys, like the way that they discuss how they're going to shoot the video, and how, you know, the scenes and all of that. You're like, yeah, this is like professional production. Hey, yeah, but hey, it's been disab. It's been disab. Yeah. Anyway, guys, that's all that it was for today. My highlight, honestly, was the conversation Samke and Primadonna. I like how real they got, and I did like as well seeing Mdletshe family. You know, it's very, that story is very relatable. Okay. And then I still feel like we're not getting anything from Oli. I don't want to lie, you guys. We're not getting anything from Oli. I feel like everybody is working hard on this show to show us their lives, and we're getting from her. She's just about shooting the videos, you know. So I don't know, you guys, because she's like the main face of the show. If anything, we should be getting more story from her, but we're not. Anyway, that's all that it was on today's not today's episode 7. We're going to do episode 8 soon. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching this video. Please like it before Pumegona, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ntando.